Professional segue.
You will bring everything back to Ohio.
Professional segue.
He's
Red River rivalry. Red River rivalry played in Dallas at the Cotton Bowl. And look, Oklahoma led this game 3-0. And Texas scored the final 34 points. Quinn Ewers back. His first game after missing the last 2 games because of the oblique injury. You know who goes to the sideline? Arch Manning. And they got Quinn Ewers. 20 of 29, 199 yards, a touchdown, an interception, and a rushing touchdown. As they just, this wasn't even close. 34-3, beating Oklahoma by 30 points for the second time in the last 3 seasons. B-Mac, this really wasn't even a game. I mean, Texas just made a statement.
I mean, this is what we expected when you looked at the line.
Yeah, but against a Will Venables defense, I thought there would be a little bit more resistance.
They were undermanned. You know, they were missing some guys, especially on the offensive side. They were missing like 5 wide receivers. Then you're starting a freshman quarterback. All 11 starters, this was their first opportunity playing in this rivalry. Yeah. So you talked about the turnover, especially on the offensive side for OU. We knew it was going to be an uphill battle for them. I think more importantly for me, when I look at Texas, yes, they won by 31 points, blowout against their rival, but Quinn Ewers didn't look like the Quinn Ewers we watched versus Michigan, even before that injury weeks ago. It seemed like he was a bit rusty.
But isn't that expected, though, coming back from missing 2 games?
This is a
we've seen him do this.
Veteran quarterback
and how
who has missed games all 3 seasons.
What did you want? 20 or 23?
No. I'm not saying I wanted like a unbelievable Heisman-like performance, but I wanted to see more accuracy. I wanted to see him seeing the football field better. That first interception that he threw on a dig route, he's wide open to pass catches. He just airmailed the ball. And other opportunities in the passing game, routine plays, right? He wasn't making those routine plays happen routinely. That's the issue and concern for me. Luckily, it didn't hurt them because they played against a team. The brand is respected, OU the brand, but the personnel, they were shorthanded. Next week, roof.
Yeah,
they got the Bulldogs.
I think Texas was able to play with their food in the first half. They were able to get through some mistakes and grow into the game a little bit. The turnover, they had a drive that failed. They were able to and then eventually in the second half, you know, they turn it on because, as B-Mac said, Oklahoma's down to wide receiver 6. So they are just extremely limited and handcuffed on offense. So, you know, you're just not worried about them. I think this Texas team is better than last year's Texas team, but they've got to show it. I think the Texas up front on the offensive line, certainly, because Texas at running back, they're down some running backs too. So Texas offensive line able to set the pace, able to handle what OU was able to throw at them for the most part, with a lot of blitz packages and Brent Venables' exotic looks on defense. But I don't want to say Texas got away with it because that's not really what I mean. But the Horns grew into the game over the course of 60 minutes, and they were able to do that because they weren't being pushed by what was on the other side with OU.
I like that graphic there, the lower third, TV jargon, stampede, because it was a stampede. That's exactly what it was. And in fact, they have had a stampede so far this season. They have the best point differential, plus 221 through 6 games in the last 100 seasons. They're not just beating folks out here, they are embarrassing folks.
Winning with style.
That matters when you're the number 1 team in the nation. Now you look ahead to this matchup against Georgia. How do they match up against this Dogs defense, B-Mac?
They match up well because the thing I know about when you play Georgia, offensively, for you to have success against Georgia, you got to have an NFL prospect at the quarterback position. They do in Quinn Ewers. Even though he didn't look like he looked before, he's going to be okay. They have guys that's going to play in the league at wide receiver as well. The offensive line, which you talked about, I think this is the best assembled offensive line unit in Austin I've seen in quite some time. The chemistry, the continuity is there. They're physical, they're big, they're massive, and they do a great job protecting the quarterback and when it comes to opening running lanes for the runners. So they match up extremely well. And the thing about Texas, this is their first time playing in the SEC, but they have significant success against SEC teams, and they're not afraid of the SEC type mystique when it comes to these type of ball games. And lastly, for me, the game is where Austin.
It's in Austin at night.
That's huge.
Look,
That's huge.
For me, I think Sark versus Kirby Smart is such an interesting schematic matchup. Kirby Smart off the Nick Saban defensive tree. Steve Sarkisian.
Yep.
Steve Sarkisian used to be in the building in Tuscaloosa. He knows how to attack that Alabama offense inside and out. He's done it the last 2 years when they almost beat Bama in Austin and when they got Bama last year in Tuscaloosa. I think that Sark's brilliance is finding what you do, finding it, and then in the second half over the course of the game, poking at it. We're going to run it till you stop it. So expect Sark to have some tricks up his sleeve next weekend when they play Georgia. And you saw when Georgia played Alabama that you can surprise this Georgia defensive unit. This is not the Georgia defensive unit that we've seen over the last few years, because I'm looking down at my screen and I see Mississippi State with 31 points on the Georgia Bulldogs. That can't happen.
No question.
You know, wouldn't it be hilarious if Texas beats Georgia and then goes to Vanderbilt and loses? Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Right? That would be absolutely bonkers.